We are now in Rome at the airport. We just came through passport control, a very classy airport. Now we're going to our next flight.
David,
What?
now it says 10:50 at C9.
Okay, still walking over to the gate. We're trying to catch a flight at 11:30 instead of our one we're booked on at 12:30. It only took us about half hour to get over here, so we are here. We are in, what's the name of this? Ursi. We just climbed up a really snaky road, and it's way up here in the mountains.
There's the ocean right over there.
We're gonna spend our night.
Here,
You can't.
come over this way and you can see the ocean.
It's foggy, like.
See the ocean over there, right there.
It's like a salt flats over there.
You see the ocean.
Can't see good because we're like in the clouds. Yeah, I got a picture. I'm just taking a video now.
The flash didn't work.
I never use a flash. We're in the interior of this city here, our first night.
Eris.
What's the name of it?
Eris.
Eris. And this is where we stayed for the night.
Downstairs.
It's a pretty nice place.
It's cold.
And there's where we have to walk. And the whole town is like this. I'm trying to drive. You can't drive the car through here. So we had to walk everywhere. And Mary's back was killing her. But it's kind of cold this morning. Well, we stopped to get gas. And we see this McDonald's, so we managed to eat. It didn't cost more than at home. So it wasn't too bad. But we're having big trouble trying to find places because GPS isn't working. Okay, we are in, I can never remember the names of the town. But this is the beach area. And you look straight ahead and that's, I think it's called Corfu. And that is been there for thousands of years, and it's a medieval town. And I'm gonna walk up there. I came down from our hotel, about a 10-minute walk from our hotel. He says that's 5 more minutes over there, but I think it's a half hour. I'm getting closer to the old town. Eventually I'm going to go up to that castle at the very top. I think that's supposed to be the best thing up there. I'm inside the cathedral here, and it's jammed up. It's about 7 o'clock in the evening. That's a new bishop that just came to Sicily here. The old bishop is leaving, so everybody come to see the new bishop. I thought it was the Pope. All that noise you hear is because of the bishop, the new bishop. Everyone's here to see him.
Oh my God, yes. Yes, it is. Isn't that sweet? I'd like to have one of those.
Yeah, it's pretty classy, but who's classy?
No, I would say it's neat.
We're right by the ocean, this place. See, where the heck are we?
Yeah.
I'm going to look up the name of this place. The name of this town is Sicily. This is the cathedral in Sicily. That's like the main site. We're going to walk in there now. I see Mary standing there with that greenish shirt. I was here last night and the new bishop was here. But 1,000 people were here to see him. inside the cathedral in Sipalu. They're getting married. They're going to baptize the baby. We're walking up to the top of, I think they call it La Roca, that big, giant, mountain-like rock that towers over the city, and there's a castle built way up there. How they did it, I don't know. It's gonna take us an hour to get up there. There's some guys gonna rappel down there. I have to admit, it's a pretty spot here. This area we're walking on right now is an ancient ladder or steps that they built when they built the castle in the year. This is the wall. We're about halfway up the rock. This is the wall that goes all the way around this upper portion, and that where she's standing was the gateway, and there was a big wooden door there, and then the soldiers would be on top of that wall guarding it. We are way up on the rock, and now we are going up to that castle that you see way up straight above Mary's head. I don't know how we're going to get there. I wonder how they got the rocks up here to build that thing. Right over there, straight ahead, is ruins of some castle. And then we're going to the castle that's in good shape. This is very nice, but hard going. We're way up here, coming near the castle.
I think I just saw goat turds.
You what?
Goat turds.
Goat turds up here? Yeah, reach the top where the castle is. This is the front wall that we could see from down below. And this is where the soldiers shot from anybody trying to climb up. And of course, that's the new town down there. The old town would be right directly below. This is from the castle, but looking the other way, away from the town. This is a different town, about a mile up the road. What do you call this? What? Gelato. Delicious. Another good looking food. I'm going to show you something amazing. You see that? mountain up ahead. I guess they call it the Rock. And we just walked up from the beach all the way up there to that castle at the very, very top. That is amazing. Amazing. Let's see. We're near this castle up in the mountains. We had to park the car way down there. Now we're walking up steps to walk to the castle. We're inside the castle and we have a guide. He's telling us all about it. This area right now was the prison area. And now we're going up to look at something else. Always a lot of steps.
All friend. But when we are not lucky, we have not friends.
Huh.
Yes.
That's what that says. Here's a.
This is the largest castle in Sicily, and it's in the best repair, and it never was conquered.
And this square, the center of the square is the low, because this square used for collecting water rain. When there was the rain, the water in the center, and under there were the collecting with every cistern.
Collecting water.
Down here?
Yes, down, yes.
Uh-huh.
And the cannon, the First World War, 1917, arrived here after the war, because the First World War not here in the south of Italy. This was the gift for the family the Spookers. That was the arms of collection of the family the Spookers.
Just a collection.
Yes.
Beautiful.
It's beautiful, yes.
Wow.
Yes. And this is the second dining room, but this room not used every day as a dining room. This room used a dining room when arrived the other people from other town, from other country. This was the dining room for holiday. This is the coat of arms of the family here. The coat of arms.
We just went through the castle in that city. I think it's called Cocarmo, and that was in that medieval castle. And we drove up the road to the countryside, and here's a view out a ways. But as we drove out, we can't use the GPS on the phone because we lose 4G. And our regular GPS isn't working, so we have to be really careful we don't get away from 4G. We are on a shuttle bus that's going to take us into Rome. It costs €6 each. And they drop us off near the Vatican, and we can walk to our bed and breakfast. Very convenient. You go to Terminal 3 and then down by Gate 6 if you ever want to do this. Then catch the bus over here on number 5. Leaving the airport. Typical city traffic. Now we're getting into, looks like, the downtown section, the old section. This is the Vatican, the square, the big square.
You mean to tell me that all of these people are in line?
Yep.
I'm not gonna stand in that line. I bet we never get to see it.
Okay, we are in this elevator going up to our apartment, and I'm gonna push the button. 3, let's see,
2.
4, 3, 2. I pushed the button. Here we go.
Here we go.
Oh my God! Isn't
Go
that
around.
fun?
It's old. Show 'em the teak. It's almost like teak wood.
This was made before the electricity was invented.
We think.
Okay, now you open the door.
When it stops, I will open the door and open.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. There. And open the door and close the door and close the door and then close the. This is solid steel.
I know it. Now, which way is our room? This is the traffic. That's a. That's a big castle that we're just looking at. We could go up there. Some people at the very top. I don't think we're going to do that. We got too much others to do. But there's a nice bridge going across the river here, so we're going to walk across it. View of the castle. I'll have to get my book and read about it. Looks like more of it way down there. Hey, look at that. Look at that down at the end of that street.
What?
There's something at the end of that street. It's amazing, this place.
You want you to sit down there and you give. I sit down there and you give me money.
Huh?
You want me to sit down there and you give me money. How do you zoom in?
You push the
Huh?
you push the volume button.
Oh, the volume.
Come on, lady. Come on, shoot you una photo. Facciamo una foto.
Every place you look, there's something more. We are now entering the museum, and look at all the people seeing along in here are like 2000 before Christ. Like this one here. Let's take a look what that is. Watch out.
The monkeys are 1200 BC.
You see that one is 1290 before Christ. This is amazing. This museum is just stretched out all over the place. Open areas, closed areas. Goes for like 4 miles of corridors. All of these things might be 3,000 years before Christ. That floor is really something. I'll have to read about it. It's made of tiny little pieces of marble. I'll have to read about that. I don't even know what it is, but it's a big saucer. I like to see the detail on these faces. It's amazing. There's a few people here today.
Did you hear it?
It's okay.
Want to plug this in?
Keep going.
Huh? This is the whole view.
As we are walking through this long corridor, it's a 1/4 mile long. First we went through the part called the candelabra one, and this is a hall with tapestries, and the next one is going to be something about maps. A 1/4 mile long hallway. That ceiling was made in 1700, and the popes at that time, they wanted to live in style and grandeur. So they commissioned all of this.
Non stop, non si fermi, non fermatevi.
They call this
Yeah. No stone. I don't see anybody stopping. There is what you're going to see.
that ceiling. It shows a history of all the regions of Italy. It's like a map. And out these windows you can see the Vatican City, which I'm going to go and take a look in a second, right now. Looking out the window from that room that's called the Map Gallery, and this is the Vatican City itself. It's all surrounded by walls, and this is, I don't know if it's a city or a country, but they have their own radio station and everything. It's beautiful. I might become a priest. Again, looking out the window from the Map Gallery, that's what's inside the walls of the Vatican. And I see where we're walking in the Hall of Maps. We're still going along. I think it's more than a 1/4 mile, like a 1/2 mile, all down this hallway. Mary's back is hurting her bad. All these maps along the wall, each one is for a different region of Italy. And so you can study the map and you can see about this region. And remember, all this was made, I think, around 1700. Came out of that room there, and that was where the Sistine Chapel was, and we finally exited. So it was really good because we didn't have to stand in line or anything. We just paid our $50, saw the museum, and then saw everything. I'll show you the line later where they're standing in line to see what we just saw. Okay, we left the Sistine Chapel. We're heading out. We're walking through this place. Everything's beautiful here. If the priest says, if the Pope says Mass outside, then he does it over here, and they have all these seats set up. And he does that on Wednesday. But on this Wednesday, this is a mine to get into the Sistine Chapel. Not the museum, but just the Sistine Chapel, which is free. But we paid $50 for the two of us, and we went through the museum and then led right to the Sistine Chapel. We avoided this line, so that's about 3 hours right there standing in line before you get in. McDonald's, you place your order here. Place your order and pick it up here. 80. Apartment. I'm now in this elevator and I'm pushing the floor button here to go down to go out. I open the doors. I open the next door. I close these doors. I close the main door so the next person can use the elevator. And then I gotta go out to the street, go into the drugstore to get some shampoo, and hopefully to buy bus tickets to go to the Coliseum tomorrow. I push this button, open the door, and there I am. And there's where I might have pizza tonight. I think the pharmacy is right across there, that green sign. All those people walking over there coming from the Vatican. The bus that we are waiting for, bus number 81.
Is this the one?
Yeah. Now we gotta figure out what to do with our ticket. This takes us to the Coliseum. 1.5 euros. This is taking us to the Coliseum. That's hard work.
Yep.
Got off the bus and now we're in this area of all these monuments, amazing. And now we're heading around that area right there, and then we'll see the Coliseum. Still walking toward the Coliseum. Look at this amazing building. Oh my God, it's unbelievable. Straight ahead, if you look close, that's our first view of the Coliseum. We're almost up to the Coliseum now. This area here is amazingly beautiful. This whole area is just before you get to the Coliseum. It's like super ancient, but I don't know anything about it yet. Getting closer. We are on the second floor of the arena. And this was built around the year 50 AD.
Wait. Stop.
And the covered floor is the way it was. And that other area is not covered, but it used to be covered. And they would have the gladiators and the animals down in there, and they would bring them up to the stage on elevators pulled by pulleys. Way up there is where the poor people used to sit. That's a view from inside of the Colosseum, looking to the outside. Big structures that you see running around the edge, those are, I didn't know what they were, but what it is, that's where the seats, that's what held the seats. Up there in the left side, you see a reconstructed one with some seating. So that's what was on those big structures. And same up above on the next level, you see more of that where they would put seats. It held 50,000 people. They had a schedule. In the morning they took the prisoners and criminals and slaves and put them in the arena without any weapons, and they let the wild animals tear them apart. And after that they had jugglers and things like that. And then they had gladiators fighting animals to the death, and those were usually slaves that volunteered for that to seek their freedom. And the last thing was the gladiators, two men fighting. Showing construction, you see these metal bands holding this stonework together. And this was all done 2,000 years ago. How could it be possible? How did they make those metal bands? And over the years, the people scavenged that and took thousands of tons of metal out of here. This whole area here is actually amazing. I'm going to guess that that is a famous arch. I think it's called Arch of Florentine. And that has to do where the gladiators and the warriors, when they came from war, they would come through that arch with their loot and gold. But I will further check that out for you. Another view of that arch. But you want to note how they constructed these archways, which not all this is made without mortar. We just exited. And now we're going to go to the Roman Forum, wherever that is. That's the entrance to the Roman Forum. That is the Arch of Titus. When the Romans conquered the Jews, they then made the Jewish prisoners build the Colosseum and that arch to commemorate. But this is a burial ground which they excavated in 1902. The graves here were from 1,000 years before Christ. This next view shows a temple of Adonis, and it was built in 138 AD. Before Christ, this was built as a temple for the wife of somebody. Okay, here's the long view of that temple built for that queen. There's a little sign there that says toilet. They have very, very few and far between, and you have to find them. It's amazing. I walked down here 15 minutes from the hotel just to find out where we're leaving in the morning. So this is where we catch the bus to the airport for 12 euros for the two of us. This is right along a very busy street, right in the heart of downtown, and that's how they have their gas station, right along the street. Pretty convenient, actually. There's how you dress your kids when you don't want to lose them. To take off.
I'd like to ask the flight attendants to prepare the cabin for takeoff.